You ever have your air filter just not seem its freshest? Don't worry, Dr. Salty's here with the cure. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Salty Flyer here with you today. So I thought we'd do a little interesting video, kind of just a little of those maintenance task kind of things that you got to do since I got no new parts to put on the bike, but some of the things you do to just keep up on things. So if you remember to my award-winning video, link above, where I put on the Extreme Heavy Breather kit as part of the Stage 1, the Harley-Davidson Extreme Heavy Breather intake, you'll note that I said it had a K&N filter. That's a brand new filter for those of you who don't know. So your air filters are basically, normally they're made out of paper and they're one-time use. They soak up a bunch of crap. Once they're clogged, you take them out, you can them, and you replace them. The K&N filters are different. They're designed to be reusable. So, you know, yay the environment and such. So they are cotton fabric and then they're covered with oil. And you can see that oil, typically they get that pinkish reddish color. So I was just looking down the other day and I noticed that my filter looks kind of grimy, and two, it looks like there's no oil on it. It's pretty white looking. Check the K&N website and like, oh yeah, you should reservice your filters every 25, 30,000 miles. Well, I've not had that thing on for 30,000 miles. I've had it on for about 5. But then again, it's a motorcycle, so compared to your car where it's in an air box under the hood behind a grill, this thing's just out there in the breeze in front of my shin. Plus, I think I know what happened. Took the bike to the dealer, they had a free bike wash, and I think dude didn't put the sock on there and washed all the oil off. So pro tip, Salty's pro tip, washing your bike, if you have one of these kind of filters, at a minimum, put the rain sock on there. Me personally, the way I do it, I actually take a plastic grocery bag, put it over that kind of snorkel elbow, and I put some rubber bands around it just to really make sure. But at any rate, I figured we were gonna do the K&N filter charger cleaning replenishment thing today. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's get ourselves started right now. So first things first, we gotta get the filter off. So obviously this is the Extreme Heavy Breather. If you have the Harley Wedge, this will apply too, but the steps to take it off will obviously be different. I get to use a cool toy. I got some T-handles. The wifey loves me and she got me a set of Craftsman T-handles. So I got SA and metric because there's 4 bolts in the front to take this little trim cap off, and that'll allow you to get the filter. So this is a 5/32 T-handle and there's 4 bolts holding this in place. So we'll pop these guys out and then we'll see what we're looking at. This is a 2-piece filter, whereas I believe the Extreme Wedge is 1. So not a big deal for the circle part, but you are gonna have to remember which side's kind of the outside and which side's the inside, because that'll become important when you take it out. So let me get these bolts out and then we'll get right back at you. And of note, if you don't have yourself one of these T-handles, I highly recommend you get it. I've been using the kind of crappy, I have some socket bits and those are great for when you need to get a socket in there, but for spaces where a socket may not be appropriate, I've been using just a kind of crappy, you know, the ones you get when you buy some IKEA furniture, and that's not nearly as good as these. And they have a little nubbin on the end, so if you need to go at a right angle, you can do the right angle as well. So cool stuff. All right, and there we have it. Filter is off. And you can see the difference. If you look at this, where that cover was, that was the color it was, and that's the color it is now. And then the front is just gross. So let's get the setup and figure out what we can do next. So here we are. We've got our filters out. The 2 pieces are right there. So you can see there's that little pit inside there. There's that little hollow piece. And you can see on this front piece, other than the fact that it's gross on one side and not the other, you can see there's a little gasket there where it fits. So we know which is the outside. So first thing we're gonna use is the K&N branded air filter cleaner. And it says to apply that to the outside liberally. So that's what we're gonna do. So when they say the outside, they mean if the air is flowing in, the side that faces the air first. So not the engine side, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty obvious, but just wanna make sure. So we'll get a good amount of that on there. You can see we get it on that piece. And we'll get on this guy. You can definitely see the underside didn't get as beat up as the overside. All right, so we'll let that We'll let that soak for a couple of minutes and then we'll be right back. And now you get to join us in the laundry room because we have a sink here. So low pressure water to rinse. And we want to go from outside or inside out at this point, so opposite the direction of flow. So now we'll turn on some low water and we'll go, this was the outside, so we're going to go from the inside out and rinse it off. And you can see just all kinds of nastiness coming off of there. So we'll get this guy. We'll get this guy, and we'll also get the cone filter as well. So that one looks a lot better than it was. Now we'll get onto the cone filter here. I'll go from the inside out. I'll just kind of get some good water. This one, honestly, I think the leading edge was more beat up because it literally, I mean, I had to take a little pick and pick some bugs out of there because it's basically straight on into the wind and hitting every bug. We'll give this a good rinse. So when we're done with this, we'll have to let these sit and dry for about 10 or so minutes, and then we'll work on getting them re-oiled and put back together. Okay, so we've got them cleaned up now, and they're looking certainly a little less gross and a little cleaner, but they're still soaking wet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let them dry. So the two things that K&N says will absolutely nuke these filters is you spraying the cleaner on it and then just getting some high pressure, getting your pressure washer out and zorching these things will absolutely crush them. Likewise, saying, I gotta get these things dry real quick and getting out some compressed air and blowing at them, that'll rip up the fibers. So the best thing that you can do is just let them air dry, give them a good tap to get all the excess water out, and then put them out on a shop towel or something and just let them sit and dry for a little bit. And go get lunch or something. And then we'll get back to the re-oiling bit. All right, so now we are basically done. They're dry. You can see still kind of looking all little not K&N colored. We'll fix that with the oil. So the other part is the air filter oil. So it's a spray can. I think they come with one that's a dropper. This is what I had. I've had this forever. It's oil. I don't think it goes bad, right? It's oil. So we'll spray on, the book answer is to go on the top of the pleats, 3 inches away, and gently spray. So we'll see if we can do this with one hand. And then you let that soak in, and you wipe off the excess. So we'll get this side here of this one. It's on, oh, by the way, on the outside. You do that on the outside. Oil on the outside. Remember that. So we'll finish wiping these up, and then we'll give that about 5 or 10 minutes to soak in and do all of its happiness, and then we'll get this thing back together. Should be a pretty quick one. Now you can see just how fresh and so clean that looks, and you can see it's got the oil colors on it and everything else. So now we're gonna fit this back together and go riding again. So we'll fit this guy back together with the gasket together, and that front piece, there's a gasket ring, and they'll fit on this. It'll be pretty self-explanatory, and then it'll fit in, and then there's a sealing gasket on the back here that will slide directly into the neck of the air breather. And the GoPro is going to yell at me. And then you'll just get everything pushed back together. And you can see I had it in upside down, because of course I did. And then we'll get those started. We'll make sure those are hand tight in there, and we'll get going. So we'll get one in there hand tight on each side, because that'll make life easier. I don't think a star pattern is necessary for this, but I don't know. In general, my experience has been that if you have anything that's a circle or a sphere or any kind of round thing, and you tighten them down, you wrench down one side all the way and then the other, the second side tends not to fit as well as the first side did. So, I mean, in certain cases it's required, like on your tires, on wheels and things like that, or like your derby covers, things like that, otherwise it just will leak. But anyway, let me get this bolted down and we'll wrap this up. Right, everything will fit back together kind of the same way as it came off, and that just looks a lot better. So I'll be honest with you, man, is this like, my God, I'm saving my bike's life? Probably not, but I think we'll just snug those down. But doing good maintenance couldn't hurt, right? Okay, we're back. So that was kind of a nothing burger, but something I think you just kind of need to do periodically. It looked like crap, and was it going to kill the engine? Probably not, but at the end of the day, the filter element will wear out, and once the filter element starts wearing out, it starts tearing, and then bits start going down the filter through that big old delicious throttle body and into your intake, and then, you know, not great. So, a couple things we learned from this. Salty's pro tip of the day is use the rain sock if you're in the rain. It's not because you're gonna douse your engine. Yes, eventually water going down your intake into your engine will be bad for it. But the filter will do a pretty good job stopping it for the most part. But what it will do is it will wash all that delicious oil away that you just put on there, like tears in rain. Seriously, like if you haven't seen Blade Runner, like stop watching this and go watch Blade Runner. Like do it right now. No, all kidding aside, and then the filter will just wear out faster. I mean, it's supposed to be a reusable filter. It's supposed to last for life. It's a unique shape and a Harley branded part, so we know it's going to be wildly inexpensive to replace. But we're all good there. So that's it. This is a quick one, just kind of a little maintenance thing. Thought I'd take you along for the ride. Hadn't made a video in a while, and I was, wanted to do something before I got out riding. Springtime is here. Summer is here. Forget springtime. It's summer now. So let's get out and ride. Let me know what you guys are up to, where you're going. Send me pictures of good rides if you can, and we'll keep doing that. Looking to do some other cool stuff, but got to get out there and ride a little bit, and also got to make a little bit of money before any new mods are coming down the pipe. But we're going to get out and ride. We're going to check it out, and hopefully you do the same thing. Thanks for sticking around. If you could hit that thumbs up button, we'd really appreciate it. Helps us get out the algorithm there. Knocking on the door of 100 subscribers, which doesn't seem like a lot to the giant channels, but to me it's kind of a fun thing, and I appreciate y'all for coming back. And then if you could subscribe, that'd be great too. But until next time, Salty Flyer, keep the shiny side up, get out on two wheels, look out for each other, because no one else is looking out for you, and peace.